Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. That is Kristen Towers-Rolls.
Hello.
I'm Brett Chapin, and that is Mr. Kevin Dillon, actor and director.
How you doing?
If you have any questions for Kevin, give us a call, 1-800-336-2225. And Kevin's awesome. He's been such a great supporter of our show, honestly, from the beginning. He's got a lot of great projects that he's working on, one of which right now is called Heat and Hostility. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was a show that's based on a bunch of character sketches I wrote originally for my friends in acting classes. And someone saw the sketches and said, I want to back this. This is the funniest thing going on in LA, and I want to see this on stage. And then I'll help you find a DP for it and see if you can get it on film. So that started the adventure. The show itself is about a bunch of it's a series of sketches about the battle of sexes, and there's a lot of material there when men and women get together.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
You think that's true?
Men and women, gay and straight. I mean, you've got about every permutation possible, and there's comic material to be mined everywhere in that.
Absolutely. Wow. So this was a project that you started a while ago. You started 5-6 years ago?
4 years ago. This is sort of the Orson Welles school of film directing. I started this 4 years ago, and I think Othello, it took him 4 years. He filmed it over a period of 4 years. Well, we've been in post-production for a couple years, but we're actually now at the end of the road. I had a great post crew. Ivan Ladizinski, who was chief editor on Survivor, sort of helped invent the reality series. Brad Caro's been doing the sound. Anyone who knows the fun song from SpongeBob SquarePants, that's Brad's song. So we've had amazing people, both the actors in front of the camera and the post crew and the production crew behind the camera.
Excellent. You've been lucky.
Yeah, well, I've been able to cajole people. One of the things that's really great is when people see that you love film. People, a lot of people come to LA for the glamour, and a lot of people come to LA for the love of film and the love of performing and theater. And you recognize people who are like-minded, and when you do, you kind of want to work with them, whether it's going to pay your bill or not necessarily. And you find things that'll pay your bills, and then you work on the things that you love, in between times. And eventually, everyone hopes that the two will become the same.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's the idea.
And there is a big difference between the people that come to LA to become a name and people that come here or are here for the right reasons.
That's true, and I think that there's the people that come here to be to find the good parties. They don't last very long.
No,
because it takes a lot of commitment to see something through all the way. But the ones that do are just amazing people, and so it's great that this morning I had the option, a number of different options. It was raining, so I couldn't go do my mountain hike, and here I am in a studio talking with people that are involved in the theater community.
Never know where the day can take you.
It's great.
The thing that we like about you on the show is that you're constantly a proponent for Los Angeles theater. You're always talking about shows that you like and shows that you would recommend and things like that, putting it out there on social media, Twitter, Facebook, that type of thing. Do you think that the LA needs a little bit more of that? Do you think LA theater needs more people that are doing that type of thing?
Yeah.
And why?
I think that when the United States was founded, everyone thought that all the good art came from Europe, and the Europeans certainly wanted to push that viewpoint. But then our whole copyright system that you hear a lot about now in the news, that was started because people were ripping off Washington Irving, as it turns out. And so they were ripping him off in Britain, basically taking his written stories, publishing them without licensing in Britain.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and true story. And so and then you look at the 19th century art, Winslow Homer, one of the great artists of any age, and eventually Americans sort of figured out that we weren't just the provinces, that we actually have our own art and there's our own community. And I think that LA in a smaller sense suffers from that. People talk about theater, you talk about Hollywood, people or LA people think Hollywood and film and television, but if you talk about theater, people naturally think of New York. But this is a concentration of actors and talented people who do theater as well, and people cross back and forth. And they're different types of art forms, and just like oil painting's not like watercolor, but they both bring interesting things. And theater and and filmed versions are two different types of art forms, but it's all good, and there's lots of it available. And to be honest, I wasn't aware of it until I got involved in it, and then it was like, wow. One of your earlier guests, Stephen Stanley, who is sort of probably the greatest friend of LA theater. One of the best things I had when working on my project was meeting Stephen, who reviewed my show and then spent 10, 15 minutes talking to me after the show, just chatting with me. You know, how many reviewers will do that, and giving his impressions and stuff. And, you know, then I got to sort of be his sidekick occasionally when he goes to reviews other shows. And so when I see something, I like to, you know, let other people know, because let's be honest, word of mouth is the strongest form of advertising, and social media just allows you to do that in a more efficient and effective manner.
Well, and it's almost all we have now as far as LA theater goes, because most of the major papers don't even come and review shows anymore, unless there's something at the Music Center or the Pantages, the big, you know, more commercial theater. But like LA Times, they don't come out to see 99-seat theater with really good actors in it. And so we are kind of left to our own devices, things like Twitter, things like Facebook, and the people like Stephen Stanley and Kevin who will help us out and, you know, bring what we're doing to the forefront. And they have so many followers, especially Stephen has so many followers and people that trust his opinion. He's been just absolutely essential to the LA theater scene.
I mean, he goes to see something on the order of about 300 theater pieces a year.
That's right.
And I didn't even know that there was that much available. And he turns down a lot. I happen to know because I know him personally. But you know, when I'm a total newbie here in the theater community. But I thought that theater was sort of the little black box where someone rents it out for, you know, and basically fills it up with their family and friends, and you didn't realize that there's this true community, and it's not just the Omnison and the Pantages and the theaters that you're aware of. There's, you know, literally hundreds of theaters in the LA area, and all the, quote, out-of-work actors can certainly, I mean, if they're not working on a film or television project, the best ones like working in theater too.
It's really true.
And the amount of talent. And so now if I were to go and cast something, I mean, I have plenty of friends that, you know, when you're hanging around with Steven, you get to go backstage. So you get to meet a lot of people, you know, who are doing the work.
We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Kristen on CRN Digital Talk.